Representative Jeremy Shaffer with another Shaffer Spotlight. Today we're here on Route 8 in Allison Park, Hampton Township at Flower Power. And I'm pleased to be joined with Amy Knight, the owner-operator here. Amy, tell us a little bit about what you do here at Flower Power.
Wow, we do a lot here. We do classes for all ages starting at 2.5. We have weekly classes for different age groups. On the weekends, we do a lot of birthday parties. We also do adult events like corporate team building events and things like that.
And when you say you do a lot, that's typically baking, right?
We do a little bit of everything. Yeah. We do baking and cooking. It just depends on what the customer wants to make or what our theme is for that month.
Do you have a certain most popular theme? Like if you're having a birthday party for kids here, or is there a typical thing that they make?
Yeah, definitely. For the younger kids, I would say that pizza is super popular because they make the dough from scratch and they all get to roll out their own pizza. For like the teenagers and the adults, we do a lot of pasta from scratch.
What inspired you to open up this location here?
So actually right at the beginning of COVID, I was retiring from the Navy and I wanted to do something that I could share with my kids, and this seemed like the perfect fit. So I definitely did a lot of research on different franchises and things like that, and this seemed like something that I would be passionate about, that my kids would enjoy.
Yeah, it's a whole family activity.
Absolutely. My kids are here all the time. So,
so this is where you make dinner every night?
Not so much.
That's when did you opened up? Right after COVID, you said. And what's your most popular type of event here?
Definitely the birthday parties. We do, when school's out in the different school districts, we do a lot of single day camps, and we have camps in between Christmas and New Year's. In the summer, we have 10 weeks of summer camp. Okay. So those are all different themes and different menus each week.
For a group size, how big can a typical group be? What's your minimum, your maximum that you
I wouldn't say we have a minimum. We'll do any kind of private event if somebody wants to learn something. We like to keep it to about 20 people per kitchen, so we could use both kitchens for one event and have about 40 people.
And do they get to eat the food when they're here too?
Absolutely. They eat the food while they're here.
What is what's the most creative dish that you've had prepared here?
So I think when we do some of our adult events, they do an Iron Chef cook-off, and they might start with something like they'll all make pasta from scratch, and then they'll break into teams and create something. So I think some of those teams have really pulled something out of nowhere, not having any kind of cooking experience. They always seem to pull something magical off.
That's pretty neat. Yeah, my kids really like to watch on TV these cooking shows, contests that they have, and where they limit the ingredients and you have limited time. Do you do those types of activities here?
Yes, we do. Something we just did a few days ago, it's kind of similar to that, is we had a birthday party and it was cake decorating, and they competed. And these are kids that have never touched a piping bag, and they come in and we give them some instruction and we show them some different skills, and then they jump in and they decorate these mini cakes, and then they compete for the top, bragging rights.
Is there a certain age, if you had a child that wanted to get into cooking, that you would recommend that they take a summer camp?
So the summer camps are for ages 5 to 12. We usually keep the older kids together and the younger kids together, just because of, the older kids might be able to do more, use real knives and things like that. But as far as getting into cooking in general, I mean, we start at 2.5. It's shocking to see some of these preschoolers come in and how well they can navigate with the tools and things like that. So,
what is the most common mistake that you see made in one of your kitchens?
I think it's holding the way people hold a knife, So trying to teach them that before they even get started is important. Even with the little kids and the plastic knives, trying to get them to understand. I always tell the kids we don't do chop suey here, the one-handed, that kind of thing. So just getting them to take their time and hold the knives correctly, and showing them different techniques to cut different things.
And have you ever had the salt used instead of the sugar, or any strange outcomes from the classes?
Absolutely. Because what we'll do is, say we have a class of like 20 kids, we'll break it into like 4 groups. So these groups will make their different batches. And we've had where like one set of cupcakes were perfect and the other ones were like so much salt. You know what I mean? They weren't cupcakes any longer. So.
Now, do you have any public classes, or is it all private? Like if someone was like, it's just me, I'd like to come in and learn how to do something. Do you have classes?
Oh yeah,
like
we
that?
have classes for all ages, usually every week. The only ones that are not as frequent are the adult classes. We still do them usually once or twice a month, but usually every Tuesday and Thursday we cover all the ages. Like tonight we have a tween class and a teen class scheduled, so anybody can sign up for that. We also do memberships too, so it's a real bargain if you sign up for a membership. You save a lot of money, and it's you can get like 4 classes a month.
Nice. So what is your favorite dish to prepare here?
We do these apple dumplings, and you pour Mountain Dew on them before you bake them, and they just come out so perfect. They're so good. So anytime somebody picks that for a birthday party, I'm always excited for them, because I'm like, you're really gonna love this.
How long, if someone was doing a birthday party here, what's the typical time frame?
So for the younger kids, they're an hour and a half. For the older kids, they're 2 hours long, and then they'll make 2 recipes. Typically, the younger kids will make the 2 recipes, and then the older kids will do something a little more advanced, like the pasta, the cake decorating. We've even done like pierogies, where everybody makes the pierogi dough, and then they kind of break into teams and pick their fillings and that kind of thing.
Amy is a small business owner here in the North Hills. You opened this business during COVID. What type of challenges have you faced? What type of successes have you had?
So I would say challenges, like, people obviously getting back into being out in public and doing things alongside other people probably was slow from, the day that we opened. But some positives, I've really been able to do a lot in the community, go to different events, touch a lot of different lives and stuff. And just being able to interact with my community is, a plus at being a small business owner for sure.
Now, the past few years, we've seen a lot of changes in the food industry, especially with pricing. If any of us who go to the grocery store can see how prices have changed dramatically for different foods that we've bought. Obviously, when you're doing for large groups, having to prepare different meals, you can see that directly is reflected in that. So how have the types of meals that you've prepared, how the different changes in the food industry affected you over the past several years?
So I think we still continue to do the same recipes. I would say that we're a little bit stricter on like the portions and kind of making our shopping lists, and how many do we need of that for that group of people. One of the biggest things that I noticed is, like, when we first opened, there wasn't like a bird flu thing going around, so every single kid, if the recipe had an egg in it, every single kid in the room was cracking an egg just to get that practice. But now it's like, it calls for 2 eggs, we're only using 2 eggs, so, but otherwise, yeah, like the price of meat and things like that, we're just a little bit more cognizant of like not overbuying.
Very good. Now, obviously, there's a lot of teenagers that might think have a career in food services or related to meal preparation. Is there opportunities? Do you hire teenagers in this business?
Absolutely. Honestly, we have quite a few staff members that are still in high school, and they do so well with the birthday parties. They really connect with the small children. We start at 14 here, so I start as like a studio attendant, somebody that's doing kind of cleanup during the parties, and then everybody else is an instructor. So we provide training, and I've watched some of my high schoolers that go to Hampton. They started when they were 14, and now they're seniors, they're getting ready to graduate. So watching them grow and change positions, and they're some of my best staff members too.
Well, every time I drive by on Route 8 here, I will be able to see Flower Power and think of all the delicious food that is being made here. This has been another Shaffer Spotlight from Allison Park in Hampton Township, here with Amy Knight. Amy, thank you for being a small business owner in our community. Wish you all the best. And as always, if you have any problems, issues, or questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to one of our offices, either on 910 by Middle Road in Gibsonia or over in Wexford in Brooktree. Thank you, and this has been another Shaffer Spotlight.